welcome back to the channel, guys. So we're going to be going over how to farm XP. So for this video I'll be going over XP tips you can take advantage of for this very unique double XP event that is currently going on right now. So make sure you're getting the most XP this weekend, and even what is no longer double XP. I have tips for those that want to go down the rabbit hole further and those who are more casual about grinding XP, so make sure to stay till the end and get all the tips. If you haven't finished the scoreboard, you won't want to miss these tips. Of course, so what I want to go over today is the fact that there's double XP and some people need to get through the scoreboard, and one of the ways to get through the scoreboard is to take advantage of the repeatable that is done every day where you can get extra score just by leveling up. So this weekend is double XP, so it's a great time to grind out the rest of that scoreboard. It's a lot easier right now, and if you've got a lot of a gap to fill, basically, this is a good way to go ahead and get it done. Plus, on top of that, double XP, we also have the Mothman Equinox happening. So we'll go over why that's important in just a second, but let's go ahead and start with one of the most important things. Don't forget to sleep. Sleep, being well rested, will give you a bonus to your XP, which we will see here in just a second. Get up. Alright. As you can see here, I just got done resting. And I have Kindred Spirit, which is because I have Steven in my camp, and I got plus 5% XP. You can see here that there's also the double XP. It says gain twice the amount of XP, and you'll notice that I went to the Mothman event, so True Wisdom of the Mothman. So you need to go up to the Mothman and actually touch him at the end of it, so you need to interact with him. And it's not there, it doesn't show you, it doesn't tell you, just walk up to him. And for me, I need to push the A button on the Xbox, so I push the A button as soon as I get close to him, and then you'll see his wings go up, and you'll see that you got True Wisdom of the Mothman.
Wise Mothman, you have accepted our invitation. We are...
This does not mix with Steven. If you use Steven's, which is only good for one time a day for an hour, which you can get True Wisdom every hour at the top of the hour, it basically negates that one. And True Wisdom is way better because it lasts an hour, it's repeatable, and it's 15% versus Steven, which is 5%. I wanted to test out if Leo would actually get rid of the True Wisdom. I'm assuming that he will not, since it's not the exact same thing. Alright, so I finally outweighted Steven. I just want you guys to be aware that Leo does give out wonderful XP buffs as well. You have to give him a Nuka-Cola Cranberry in order to actually take advantage of that buff. So make sure that you, when given the option to give him something, that you're actually giving him a Nuka-Cola Cranberry. You can only use this once. It does give you plus 5% XP. You can set your Collectron to actually gather Nuka-Colas. And you can see here that my guy has already gotten 3 Nuka-Cola Cranberries, so that way I could use them with him. But I can't get Steven off of the praying Mothman statue in order to actually do that. I have tried for like 30 minutes and he will not leave that post. And if he's praying at the statue, you can't delete him, which is great. Alright, so the next thing that you need to know is that you can actually get a lot of wonderful intelligence through your armor. Now this one doesn't have any intelligence, but see where it says plus 1 agility? That's where you would get plus 1 intelligence. The other way to get some from your armor is unyielding armor. You have to be a bloodied build. If you need to go over that, I would suggest that you look it up. It's basically when you have a high amount of radiation, and because you have the high amount of radiation, you actually are going to be receiving plus 3 to all stats except the endurance when low health. Sorry guys, I'm losing my voice. Anyhow, you basically will get more to your intelligence, so that's a plus 3 to your intelligence. Intelligence equals more XP. Another piece of armor that needs to be highlighted here is casual under armor. Believe it or not, this will actually help boost your intelligence. Shielded is the one that will give you the most. So shielded casual under armor will give you plus 3 intelligence when wearing it. And that just goes right underneath your clothes. So the next thing I'm going to tell you to do is you need to go into your cards and you should be leveling up your actual intelligence. So you can put 15 in here, and then you can actually double up on that and put another 5 to make 20 if you use your legendary perk to pick intelligence. So basically, just if you have an extra slot for a build, I would say make an intelligence build. You'd make them bloodied. You'd want to do all that good stuff. The next thing that I'm going to tell you to do is that you need to make sure that you have your inspirational on. You gain more XP when you're in a team, which is great. So definitely make sure that you're doing that. The other thing I'm going to tell you since we're in our cards is you're going to need Chem Fiend and you will need Curator. This is the benefits of bobbleheads and magazines last twice as long, and the Chem Fiend is the same thing, but it's for chems. And the chems are going to take part in how well everything works basically for you. So any chems you take last 100 times longer. If you're going to be using food buffs, I would also suggest going ahead and getting good with Salt 3, so that way all that hard labor and effort you've done to get these food buffs and make them, they don't just go away in a couple minutes, because things actually deteriorate and spoil very quickly in this game, and good with Salt will make it so it's 90% slower to spoil. Another card worth covering here is actually Class Freak. Now this only applies to those that have a bunch of mutations, especially the marsupial mutation. It actually negatively impacts your intelligence, so this will actually help get rid of that. So negative effects of your mutations are reduced by 75% at number 3. Another card that can actually help boost your intelligence, which is a new feature that just came with Nuka World on Tour, is Cola Nut. So Cola Nut is not a new perk card by any means, but there is a new beverage, Nuka Twist, that can actually give you an intelligence boost. So this one right here will, if level 2 Nuka Cola products are now 3 times as beneficial. So that means that the boost that it's going to give you is going to be better. So let's just go in and look at the Nuka Twist real quick. So, applies a random positive effect, restores health, and restores action points. So if you take a couple of them, we'll go in and look and see if we got it. So right now I took 3 and I have strength, perception, and luck. So I did not get what I needed, so I'm going to drink a couple more. And let's see here. I still have, there it is, Nuka Cola Twist, intelligence +2 for 9 minutes. So that's a whole lot of work to actually get that, considering you got to drink so many just to get it, because you don't know which ones are going to actually pop. I just wanted to kind of highlight that so that way you're aware. So, why the chems, you may be asking? Well, let's go ahead and we'll do this. So, berry mentats. This is the best thing that you can get. So, if you see somebody with berry mentats, buy them. Learn the plan. Learn how to make them. It's slightly complicated at first, but it's not that bad. If you don't have berry mentats, mentats will come in hand, or any type of tats. Psycho tats, what have you. Buff tats. Anyway, this will give you an intelligence boost as well. The berry mentats is the best. So let's go ahead and we'll look at our stats again. So berry mentats for 9 minutes, which it's not that at all if you don't have Chem Fiend on. So you can see why it's important to have Chem Fiend on. You get plus 4.3 intelligence, and it also highlights all living targets. So your bobbleheads. The bobblehead that you want to use the most of is going to be leader. You can also use the intelligence bobblehead, but the leader one gives you more XP. Thus it's better, but if you don't have leader bobbleheads, intelligence will work just as well. You cannot stack bobbleheads. So that means if you use one and then use another one, you're going to lose that. And the bobbleheads last, I think, about 2 hours. Casual team. You need to be on a casual team. You get an intelligence boost by being on a casual team. You can see down, let me get rid of this Mr. Walrus here. You can see down in the bottom left hand corner that I am linked up with all my casual teammates there. It's got the blue with the little interlocking locks there like chain, and that means I'm getting XP. So you can see right there in my thing that I'm getting +4 intelligence for being on a casual team. So for each person you're getting +1. Live and Love. So this is one of the magazines that is very widely used during double XP events, or if you're trying to grind out XP or farm an XP. It will give you +5% XP for being in a team. So this again is to be in a team. So this is what Live and Love number 8 looks like, just in case you're looking for it. As you can see below, it says +5 experience in a team. The other magazine I want to highlight real quick, this one really only benefits those that are herbivore, or if you're not mutated and you're eating a bunch of fruits and vegetables. This is Live and Love number 3. It says plus 50% healing from veggies and fruits, but that isn't all that it does. It also gives a bonus for fruit and vegetable food. So basically it increases the effectiveness of it. So if you're eating cranberry relish or brain bombs, something like that that's a veggie, and then you're herbivore on top of that, you're going to get a huge boost to your intelligence and experience because of this magazine. So if you're going the herbivore route, this is a magazine for you. So I've already talked about the true wisdom of the Mothman. Let's go over very well rested. So very well rested actually comes from lunch boxes. So you need to pop 4 lunch boxes in order to gain the most XP. So it doesn't matter if you pop it or somebody else pops it, but you just need to be aware that if you're trying to grind XP like a West Tech or something, then you need to be aware that your lunch boxes do have a time limit and they will run out. So make sure you're aware of that. If you start to notice that your XP is going down, come into your screen here and look and see what's going on that's actually affecting that. It could be that your lunch boxes have went down. Apparently, you know, cop a squatter all the time, man.
I may have additional assignments for you to carry out.
Alright, so now he's done talking. Sorry about that. Just be aware of that. You don't need to pop any more than 4. So like if you go to an event and people start popping lunch boxes, if you pop one, a lot of times other people will pop one, and that means that you're not having to spend as many lunch boxes. You can buy lunch boxes for gold bullion, so that's another way to get lunch boxes instead of like paying for them. So I want you to be aware of that. I am a carnivore. You will see down here, carnivore, eat meat. So for food buffs, you have intelligence buffs and you have XP buffs. So for us carnivores, it's going to be broiled scorched beast brain is the best one at intelligence plus 7.5, and tasty squirrel stew, which awards a bonus XP of 25%. So with that being in mind, this is only for carnivores, and I'm going to tell you this because a lot of people don't understand. Getting these food buffs is not an easy thing. It doesn't matter if you're herbivore or carnivore. It's very time consuming, basically. For broiled scorched beast brain, you have to go to all the Fisher Prime sites, trying to say it backwards, Fisher Prime sites, and kill scorched beast until you get brains. So if you're going to be going and collecting the brains and the squirrel meat, you need to make sure that you have on cards that'll actually help you out with that. So let's go over here and look at those real quick. So you want to put on Butcher's Bounty, okay? And the same if you need ingredients, like if you needed to get brain fungus for herbivore, you need to make sure that you have on Green Thumb, so that way you're not wasting your time picking up all this stuff. You're getting the most that you can get, because scorched beast brains, in case you didn't know, has a very low chance of dropping. You don't get them just because you kill it. Squirrels, the squirrel stew, it's hard to find squirrels. They randomly spawn. Other things can randomly spawn in their place. So you have to farm that meat just like you do anything else. And so that's kind of time consuming as well, because you have to fast travel and go all over the place. For brain bombs, you have to have irradiated sugar bombs, and there's no real good set spawn for any of those. There's places where they spawn at a lot of the times, but it's never a guarantee, and if somebody else in world has went there and had the same idea that you did, they could be missing. And that's a lot of ingredients. So if you're going to be making stuff also, you need to make sure that you have on Super Duper, because otherwise when you're making this stuff, you could be losing out on possibly getting some free items in the meantime. With cranberry relish, that one's not too hard. That's the other one that herbivores use. You just have to have gourds and cranberries, I do believe. I don't normally run herbivore, but I do know that those are the two that a lot of people use. So let's just go over to... So let's go over here to the grill here, and we're going to go ahead and look at cranberry relish real quick, just so that way you guys can know. I don't want to give you guys any type of misinformation. I want you guys to be well informed about what's going on. So you need boiled water, cranberries, gourds, sugar, and wood. So the sugar might be the hardest part of that, but that one's not hard because you actually make sugar. All you need to do is to grab up some snaptail reed and have wood, and you can make sugar. And snaptail reed can be found in the rivers. It's on the river banks. There's a lot of it running in the forest region, so if you just go into the forest region, you can find some snaptails. In fact, where my house is located, there's plenty outside. So that's where I'm located at. You can see it's in the forest region, and there's a bunch right there on the riverbank. The other thing I want to tell you about real quick before I forget, because I keep on forgetting this one's an easy one to forget. The mechanical derby game. A lot of higher level players will actually have this machine, so it's very useful. They put it out so that way everybody can use it. It gives you a +2 intelligence boost. So if you don't have it at your camp, just travel around to other people's camps, and you can also be looking for like irradiated sugar bombs and stuff like that, depending on which actual mutation you have. You really do need to choose a side. You either need to be herbivore or carnivore, so you need to make sure that you also have those serums. So if you have to, go around the map, make sure that you're kind of paying attention to that as well. So always use this wonderful mechanical derby game, and we'll see how long that lasts. The intelligence boost is only for 30 minutes. For the kindred spirit here, guys, that is from sleeping for me, because I have a good relationship with my ally. If you don't have a good relationship with your ally that is at your camp, you will not receive that. You will receive well rested, and that can be done like at a tent, a sleeping bag, what have you. It just doesn't last as long. So if you want it to last longer, you need to do kindred spirit. So if you're starting to feel a little overwhelmed and you think that you can't do this, that you won't be able to get all the ingredients together, double XP is already going on, or if you want to do this in the future, at least you'll know how to do that. Just stay tuned. There is more to come, and I will go over some simpler ways to do it. It may not be as effective, but it will help you get the job done. If you found this information useful, please give me a big Vault Boy thumbs up. Quick recap though, make sure that you know about bloodied builds. If you're going to be bloodied, make sure that you understand mutations, and make sure that you have all the right cards equipped, so that way you can actually make the best of all the situations that you're going to get in, and you will not be wasting your time. Another big one, intelligence equals XP. I cannot stress that enough. Some of you may be feeling very overwhelmed at this very moment for all the information that you just received and all the stuff that has to go into really grinding that XP or farming XP or trying to grind the scoreboard out. Double XP makes all this a lot simpler, but there's other ways to do everything. First tip I'm going to give out is that you can get canned meat stew, which it gives you an XP boost from Feed the People. Another great thing to know if you're trying to grind for XP is that you can also get lots of XP from events. Some of the best events to actually get XP from are Radiation Rumble, Moonshine Jamboree, Eviction Notice, Seismic Activity, Scorched Earth, Colossal Problem, just to name a few. If you're doing the Mothman Equinox currently, make sure that you go to the Under the Bridge so you can actually tag Deathclaws that can give you 4,000 XP for each one that is down if you have all your XP buffs maxed out. You may be asking, what is tagging? So let's get into that. So this is a big tip. You need to have an automatic Tesla rifle. You will want to have Grenadier perk equipped so you can actually tag as many enemies as possible. Grenadier can actually be found under Perception. Tagging means getting hits. But by getting hits, you're not actually trying to down the enemy. You're just trying to hit as many enemies as possible in the shortest amount of time. So you're just inflicting enough damage so that way you get the full XP for that kill. The Grenadier perk in this instance actually helps the Tesla rifle to arc, which means that it can tag multiple enemies that are standing close by all at the same time. So that means you can be hitting 4 or 5 enemies all at the same time. So that means you're getting hits on them. So you'll get XP for all of those hits. By being on a team, even if you don't manage to tag an enemy, but one of your teammates did, you will get XP by association. It is not as much as if you took the enemy down or you inflicted enough damage so that way you can take the enemy down, but it is something. By not actually trying to kill the enemy, you can move from one batch of enemies to another very fast, so that way you're getting the maximization of your XP. Because the more hits that you actually are able to inflict, that means that you have more damage. That means you're more likely to get the full XP for killing the enemy, even though you have not. And then you can quickly just keep on moving around and tagging more and more enemies. So now you're probably scratching your head and wondering, well, what type of Tesla rifle? I already told you it needs to be automatic, but any old Tesla rifle will do, a plain one that doesn't have any perks equipped. If you want more specifics though, I would suggest a quad or a vampire's Tesla rifle. 1 star is fine because a vampire will heal you, and quad you don't have to reload as often, which means you can fire more, therefore tagging more enemies. But if you get down quickly, every second you wait to be revived or you have to reload back in and then get back to your position in the event, you are losing XP. That's why I also suggest vampires. For a 2nd star option, it's always going to be faster fire rate, so that way you can shoot as many bullets as possible. And for the 3rd star, it's always going to be faster reload, since Tesla rifles do not hold much ammo. I would suggest only doing the events that you like to do on top of those that I've already mentioned, or ones that you feel like would give you the most XP. In between doing the events that you feel like will give you good XP, you should go over to West Tech to actually grind out more XP. There's level 100 super mutants that spawn on the inside, and after you have downed all the enemies on the inside, you can actually leave, wait 1 minute, and go back in and do it all over again. So you can continue to rinse, wash, and repeat until another event pops up or you need to go take care of something. More bang for your buck out of those buffs that you're using, since those buffs are on a timer. Yet another way to actually grind XP is to craft items or cook food while using the XP buff. You will not believe how much XP that you can get by doing this. Just be aware that there's a maximum amount that you can get for each item when you group them all together. So I would start out with like 50 to 60 just to see how much XP you're getting, and just make sure that you're not maxing out. So just do little by little, so 50 of this, 50 of this, and get all your XP that you can get. As always, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you feel like that I forgot something important, please make sure to comment below. If there's anything that you'd like further explanation on, I am always available to answer questions, and I do live streams on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And of course, none of this would be possible without my channel members, the Deathclaws, Baby Deathclaw, Bond, 6X Water, Glowing Deathclaws, Indie Rap, PT Buns, and it's Dante. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I love you guys. I will see you guys in the wasteland.